Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the worst of MTO. Last week we went on a bit of a break and did our best of episode. We compiled a bunch of clips that we thought were real good from our show and put them together into one big best bits, and now we're here. We're going to count down the worst moments of this podcast. I am your host, Niall Edwards, and I'm joined as always by the other host of the show.
It's me.
Jeez. Oh, welcome to the worst of MTO. We're living up to the name. No, this week we're actually doing hypothetical questions, but we'll get to that in a minute, because this week we've also decided to switch up our classic segments. So usually we'll do a segment where Gideon does something and I have to guess what it is, and usually I'll have a segment where I go on a bit of a rant. But this week, we're switching it up, so I'm doing a segment called What's Niall Doing Right Now? And
that's just not what it is. It's what Niall. It would be, what is Niall doing at this exact
what
moment
is Niall doing at this exact moment in time? So do you want to get into that segment, or do you want to do yours first?
You go for it.
Right, we'll go into this. Also, my neighbours are in their garden, and I'm making the executive decision that it's too hot for me to close my window, so that's staying open. But that's not what this segment is. So, Gideon, there might be a sound clue. If I'm good at it, there might not be. So, what am I doing at this exact moment in time? I've nailed it. I'll give you a clue, and that clue... shit.
Okay, well,
I did nail it.
Sound clue.
There is no sound clue, because I got it spot on. Oh, there was a sound clue, because I messed it up.
Were you balancing a spoon on your nose?
God damn it!
Yes!
I actually was.
Incredible.
You nailed that.
See,
and look,
that's why it's my segment, because I'm just genius.
It's that experience from you having to do the segment week after week. I knew...
I hear the metal sound, knew it straight away.
Because I dropped it like 3 times, but the mic wasn't picking it up, but then it fell and it hit the corner of my desk, and because it was like hitting a solid object, that was disappointing. That's the thing that's fucking me off this week. The fact that I messed up that segment. I'm taking this segment back.
Okay.
Now go ahead. What's annoying you?
Well, let me introduce it first. This is things that particularly aggravate.
That's not the segment name. You made me change the name of yours back, so you got to do the actual name.
This is things that particularly aggravate me. Something that particularly aggravates me is when you're about to record something and you know you've got a segment to do, but you haven't really had time to think of anything.
So you're thrown in at the deep end.
Ground.
Yeah, I didn't think to let you think about what you wanted to talk about before we started recording.
Beforehand, you said no.
You can go with the most recent one you said about the thing down your road. You had that ready to go. So look, you can go with that.
But my decision
my stance
is that I'm not going to do that, and we're going to move on.
Great, you've really done my segment justice. Right. This week we're doing hypothetical questions. So basically, what this is, we've each written 3, I think, hypothetical questions. I don't know how many you've got.
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. I'm not sure how long your ones will be. Mine are like paragraphs, so I hope that's not going to be a problem. But so yeah, we're going to ask each other these hypothetical questions. Even if you're the one who asked it, you can still give your answer because it's interesting to talk about and go back and forth. I've got one hell of a finale planned, so you can go first so that we can get that in order. Or unless you have a big finale you want to do. I don't care.
No, you can do your big finale, so you want me to go first, yeah?
I mean, I don't want you to go first, but I want me to go last, so I guess it's necessary.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, this is my first hypothetical question.
Hit me.
Okay, so you are a giraffe, right, in a zoo. For the sake of a question, you have like a human standard brain. Okay,
alright.
So a visitor to the zoo poos on the fence surrounding your enclosure and it breaks.
Nice.
Okay, so you're free. So here's the ultimatum. Here's the decision you have to make. That person who pooed on the fence and set you free, do you poo on them or eat them?
I can only do one of the two. Naturally, those are the 2 options, correct?
Yep.
Great. Okay, so Is there any particular reason, any obstacle in my way that
You're probably getting shot either way.
Yeah, but is there any particular reason that I have to do one of them and not just walk past?
Okay.
Or is it just because the game said so?
Because, so they pooed on the fence, right, which made a very small hole that you could literally just fit through. Oh, okay. But they're stood there just pooing constantly forever in that little gap. So you need to get them out of the way somehow. You can't just kick them because your legs don't work. So you have to poo on them or eat them.
So yeah, because if you poo on them, they'll want to run away. And if you eat them, they're gone. I feel like, though, because this guy...
I think you just cut out loads. I didn't hear what you said.
I'm just saying that, like, if you poo on them, they'll run away, so you can escape. And then if you eat them, they're obviously not in the way anymore, so that's why those are the two options. Just spelling it out for the listeners, in case we've got some real dumbasses listening to this. But, which I'm sure we do. But, hi, Dad. No, I don't think he listens. But, so yeah, I think this guy's pooing a lot. He clearly enjoys poo. So I feel like if you poo on him, he might not move, he might enjoy it, or he might, like, it might initiate.
That's a fair point. He might just start eating it and start, he might just be pooing back and forth, and he's never going to budge. You might never get out of there.
But, so, and then on the other hand,
you have got to leave, by the way. You have got to find some way to leave, because if you don't, there is, Godzilla has come to the zoo and he's going to kill you if you don't get out.
Well, that's the thing, I don't see a downside of eating him. Because if I eat him, he can't get out the way. Yeah, he might continue. If he's not going to survive, but on the off case he does, he's just pooing on my insides. Like, that can't harm me. As long as I can't taste it, I don't care.
You're going to poo him out in the end anyway.
Yeah.
Which he'll love.
The ultimate reversal. He becomes my poo. That's great.
He poos you out of your enclosure, and you end up just pooing him out.
Yeah, pooing him out of my enclosure.
You're going to eat him?
Yeah, I'm going to eat him.
You're going to eat the guy. That's not very nice of you.
Well, no, but it's all for one, and one for one.
To be fair, does that man's life have any value?
No. He's spending his days at a zoo pooing into the giraffe enclosure.
Not into it, onto the fence. Onto the fence. That's how the fence breaks.
Yeah, the sheer weight of his toes.
Well, it's like a projectile, isn't
it? Yeah, sure. So do you want to say what your answer would be for that?
To be fair, I hadn't really thought about it. I think I would poo on him, but end up trying to poo on him so much that he just drowns in poo.
And then eat him. Best of both worlds.
And then, I'd just sort of walk over his dead body inside the mound of poo.
I think you're missing out on a good meal there. But no, I'll accept that. So I would eat him, you would poo on him. We've got the whole variety of options, that's great. My first one...
What a great start.
My first one is Disneyland. Has different lands in the park based off different places or time periods. So they've got, like, the Wild West or earliest 20th century New Orleans and, like, African jungles. But they've also got, like, one set in the future. They've got, like, Tomorrowland, which is all futuristic and space shit. So if the world lost its mind and you were put in charge of building a new area in Disneyland, what would you base it off of?
I mean, the obvious simple answer to go with is...
Oh, this is going to be a running thing throughout this episode, isn't it?
It's far too easy to just go for poo, so I'm not going to do that.
I'm going to go with piss.
I'm trying to think what things would make for good rides in Disneyland, you know?
I'm also trying to think what they haven't done.
I reckon that what is it? Is it the Very Hungry Caterpillar? Is that what it's called?
The Hungry Cat. I think it's just the Hungry Caterpillar.
Is it just the Hungry Caterpillar?
I'm sure of it.
I've got the book somewhere. No, it is the Very Hungry Caterpillar.
I disagree. It's a matter of opinion.
No, as in it's genuinely just...
Oh, no, you're right. It is the Very Hungry Caterpillar.
4.3 out of 5 from Goodreads.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to base it off the Very Hungry Caterpillar, you know, because you can have some nice little roller coasters of the caterpillar.
So your location...
You can have a restaurant that just serves caterpillar.
Yeah, of course. So your location / time period, you said it in, is the book The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Great.
It's just the world of the Very Hungry Caterpillar.
I should say, not all my questions are going to be this boring. I started it off with a pretty boring one, but I do have some more exciting ones. But my answer to that, if I was to base a new land off something, I would probably go with... And that's the thing, I can't think of much that they haven't done.
Mm.
But yeah, I didn't think about this.
Haven't done the Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go with that as well. My answer is gonna also be the Very Hungry Caterpillar.
You gotta come up with something different. That's boring.
Alright, hang on. What about biblical times? I want to see Disneyland's take on the Bible. I want to see like a Jesus crucifixion drop tower. They make a massive crucifix, and that's like their drop tower ride. I reckon that's good. There'd be like meet and greets with Jesus and like Moses and shit. I reckon that'd be great. Disneyland, get on that.
The restaurant could be set like the Last Supper.
Yes! This is perfect.
It's genius.
The gift shop can sell pocket Bibles.
Jesus theme park.
There'd be like a dark ride, like in the style of a haunted house, but every room is like a different scene from the Bible, and it takes you through each sort of one.
It's genius.
You could do a log flume ride based on like the parting of the Red Sea.
Or you could have some sort of water-based ride that like there's some sort of diffusion system so that it slowly goes from you're on water to you're on like red-coloured water, so it's like wine.
Oh, that's sick. This is great.
We should design a theme park.
We should design a biblical theme park.
We actually should.
Who is that for? Who is that made for?
It's everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone could go and have a great time.
True God-fearing Christians. What's your second question?
Right, so you've just transformed into a woman. Wow. Okay. Now you can compete. You can choose one sport to compete in like the men's side of the game, and you are like the best in the world of it, like out of all the men, and you get to compete in that sport as a woman in a men's game for 1 year. Which sport are you picking?
I don't understand. So I'm playing against other men.
Yeah. Well, you're a woman now.
Yeah.
For a year, you're a woman, and you can choose one sport to be the best in the world at.
Okay.
Like better than all the men.
So why?
And all the women.
Why is the woman thing a part of it? I don't get this.
It'd be kind of cool if a woman was like the best weightlifter in the world.
Yeah. Feminism. This feels weird.
Okay, right. New question.
Okay.
New question.
You've been transformed into a baby. No.
You are now an alien.
So women are aliens to you.
You can pick
nice,
one...
Gideon.
No,
nice.
I clearly distinguished that you're an alien, not a woman.
Oh.
They're different things. You're an alien, okay?
We're getting cancelled.
You can pick.
I wish Dylan was here.
One celebrity to make an alien human baby with.
What?
And which one do you think would look the most normal? You can pick one celebrity, and your baby with them has got to look normal. Which celebrity is going to give you the most normal looking baby of a human alien?
Who's the most generic person?
I think it might help if they look a bit like an alien, though.
Oh, that could be true. Oh, that's it. This is a good question. It's weird how this has spun off from the previous question, but I'm just gonna search weirdest looking celebrities because I'm blanking on any and all names. Weirdest. This feels very shallow, but there's an IMDb list. Ugliest / odd looking celebrities
That's
ever.
Horrible.
This is so mean.
I can't feel bad.
Do you want to change your question again?
No.
Oh, Ron Perlman's a good shout. Do you know who that is?
I know of him.
Yeah. Pamela Anderson's here. She's not ugly.
Yeah.
It's weird. Steve Buscemi is a good shout.
Oh, that's true.
I reckon that's my answer.
This does feel very...
No, but this isn't a negative thing. He's unique, he's different, it's sick.
No, it's not, yeah.
And also, this list is objectively wrong. Emma Stone is on this list. Like, this doesn't... Jack Black's on this list.
Okay, do you know what we need to do? We need to get like a face merger app and get like a picture of a stereotypical alien and Steve Buscemi and see what your child is going to look like.
Yeah, we'll do 50 Cent's on here. Snoop Dogg's on here.
To be fair, Snoop Dogg, because of his eyes, because of how much he smoked.
Oh, this list has started to get a bit racist.
Oh, has it?
There's a lot of Asian people. I shouldn't look at this anymore. This is grim.
Yeah, click off.
Oh, it's gone. We'll get out of there.
What's your next question?
So anyway, Steve Buscemi, who would you pick for that? Just first of all.
I'm thinking I want someone with a big forehead. Yeah. I'm thinking I want a bold guy with a big forehead, right?
You're gonna go with The Rock, aren't you?
No, I'm not gonna go with The Rock. Let me Google bold celebrities with big foreheads.
Bruce Willis.
His forehead's not particularly large.
A bold man's forehead can start wherever you want it to start.
This kind of works because he's in Star Trek as well. I'm going with Patrick Stewart.
Oh, okay. There's a bit of an alien connection there.
I reckon we could make a decent looking alien.
So are you trying by regular? Because regular's subjective. Do you mean look as much like a regular human or look as much like a regular alien?
Just as in have generally sort of normal human facial features, I would say.
Okay, I think I'd still go with Steve Buscemi. I think he's quite like a normal looking person, but he's got sort of that unique enough twang that if it came out more on the alien side, it wouldn't look like a weird, like uncomfortable mesh.
Yeah,
I'm happy with Steve Buscemi.
Okay.
She's got Steve Buscemi eyes. Right. My second question is, if you could, and look, I wrote this one and then wrote in brackets after must be a celebrity because then otherwise it gets a bit too personal. So, if you could shrink your worst enemy down to 4 inches in height and do anything with them, who would you shrink and what would you do with them? But let's keep it enemy celebrities that we don't like, so that we're not saying, oh, this person I know at my school's a dickhead.
I would shrink Katie Hopkins down 4 inches. And I think I'm just trying to think of like the groups of people she hates most. I would shrink Katie Hopkins down, and I would take her to a largely Islamic country, because obviously she's incredibly racist towards Islamic people, and I would have her in a little tub. And I'd just sort of leave her somewhere in that country and see where she ended up, because she would hate that. I'm going Katie Hopkins.
Okay, that's fair enough. My answer for that, I feel like you've gone on quite like an admirable route of going, I'm going to annoy this racist and make their life bad because they're racist and awful. I've gone, I think Shia LaBeouf is an unlikable prick, and I want to shrink him down to like, and he'll be like,
you've really thought about this, haven't you?
Yeah, and this is why I wrote this question, and I will put him in like a playset with other Transformers figures, so they're like life size compared to him, and then I will like I'll be like a kid playing with toys and like control the Transformers figures, and I'll just make them beat the shit out of him because I do not like him. He's a pretentious fuck. I don't like him. Get rid of him. Why do we have him? We don't need him.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Do we need anyone?
You need me.
No.
You do need me.
Absolutely not.
Gideon, try editing this podcast without me. See how far you go.
I don't need to do this
podcast. Go and get your best friend Shia LaBeouf to go and edit this podcast.
Yeah, I will. I'm sure he'd do a great job.
I'm sure he wouldn't. He'd have in some weird sound clip of him saying he's not famous anymore. Just start crying on mic. I hate that man.
I'm having to resort to Pinterest for my last one. Hold on.
Oh, are you still looking at weird celebrities, or have you?
No, for my last hypothetical question, because I forgot to prepare them.
Oh, you're looking for hypothetical questions.
About hypothetical questions. I've just got one thing here that says 10 pro tips for the sauciest phone sex ever.
Cool. Well, whilst you look for that, should we go into an ad break?
Let's do that.
We'll be back with the rest of the questions after this. Gideon, are you tired of paying extortionate prices to upload your podcast? Our podcast, this podcast.
I am incredibly tired of paying extortionate prices to upload podcasts. That's actually what was on my mind just now, Niall. That's crazy.
That's insane. Dylan, are you sick of struggling to distribute your podcast to all the different podcast apps and services?
Oh, yeah, I don't have enough hands.
Alright, that's enough out of you. Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about that anymore, because now we're sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to start a podcast. Here's why. It's completely free with absolutely no hidden costs. If you don't have fancy audio recording or editing software, you can use their creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. They will distribute your podcast for you, so you don't have to worry about setting up the RSS feed on multiple different services that are difficult to access. Then they want all this different info about your podcast that you don't know how to find, and you have a mental breakdown and now because you're crying about the fact that it's 2016 and you're 11 years old and starting a podcast with your mate because you just wanted to talk about Spider-Man movies, and now you're having to learn what an RSS feed is. There's none of that. You just have to upload it to Anchor, click a few buttons, and they automatically upload it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's how we're doing it right now. It's everything you need to start a podcast. I will say I've been podcasting for 4 years now, and especially when trying to do this podcast, like we went through so many different hosting services. We went through so much different stuff and stuff like that, and I've had difficulty on every single hosting services other than Anchor, because they either cost way too much or would only let us upload like a maximum of 5 episodes, but we moved to Anchor, and I was genuinely sceptical at first, but it worked insanely well. It's got everything
Chances
I want and need.
The majority of people listening to this would not be listening if we weren't with them, so...
Yeah, without Anchor, we wouldn't be recording this podcast, and it's completely free. There's unlimited episodes forever, and that's how we're still doing this, and I'm going to actually be moving my other podcast that I do over to Anchor, because Anchor is really great. So mandatory call to action, it says here. I've got it. This is mandatory that I say this. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started on your podcast. Once again, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. On with the episode.
We love you.
We love you, Anchor.
Yeah, thanks, Anchor.
And we're back. Hope you enjoyed that ad break. It's the same every time. Right. We still have some hypothetical questions to do. We took a big break in between these two parts of the show. So we're not quite in the flow that we were or weren't. I can't remember if this was going well.
We're back in it.
But we're back in. So Gideon, you have your third question. Hit me with it.
Okay. This is the question. So, for the rest of your life, from now on, you can only use one swear word. Okay, now you can use it in whatever way you want. So you can put ing at the end, you can put ed at the end, whatever. Yeah. You can only use one. What are you choosing?
Shit.
Really?
Yeah. You can call someone a piece of shit. You can talk about your shit. You can tell, like, you can say, oh, I'm shitted right off. And that's still sort of, you can infer from context sort of what that means. I feel like it's the most universal sort of swear word, as in it can mean the most amount of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's between.
If you wanna fuck someone, you could say, do you wanna go into my bedroom and take a shit, if you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, you don't have to use it in
that
context. It's just that you can only use one. I think it is between shit, fuck, and piss, isn't it?
Oh, there's going to be an explicit rating on this one.
I don't know. I might have to take piss out of the mix, to be fair. Although, to be fair, that can, like, you can use that if you're annoyed, if you're
pissed off,
you're pissing, if you're drunk.
But you can't. I mean, you can say a piece. You can say
pee on someone.
You can say a piece of piss, but that usually means something's easy. You can't. But you can't call someone a piece of piss. And I feel like swearing is best when it's being used as an insult.
Well, yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about cunt.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But I'm not sure if it's two for because then that's really only used for one thing. And I'd say if I had to make a list of my favourites, that'd be number one.
Is it an insult or another word for fanny?
Yeah, to be fair.
Two uses.
Yeah, like the movie Teeth. Keep your eye out for that, maybe. But, yeah. That could be up there, but I think in terms of versatility, shit wins out for me.
I think I'm just gonna have to go with fuck. That's the most obvious one, and I'm just gonna go with it.
Listeners, write in. What would your one swear word be?
It's gonna be so weird when we just get if we just get messages that just literally have one swear
Yeah,
word.
no, don't send us any context. Just send us fuck,
Just
shit,
yeah,
piss, cunt. Like
nothing else.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. So my final question is, this is my longest question, and I wrote this especially for you, so get ready. You're treading water in a 45 centimeter pool, so you can't move side to side. The pool is filled with shit. See, it's very versatile.
45 centimetres?
Yeah.
I ain't fitting in that.
You could. The average human is like...
I think a 30 centimetre ruler
30.
and a 15 centimetre ruler. I might, but that's a tight squeeze.
Yeah, but like you literally can't dodge side to side.
Okay.
That's the point of it. It's meant to be that insanely tight fit.
Okay, carry on.
So the pool is filled with shit. Someone is stood above you on a diving board and is about to vomit and piss at the same time off the diving board onto you. You've got two options. You can stay where you are and get hit by the piss and vomit, or you can go under the pool of shit and duck into it and fully submerge yourself.
Oh, so like your body is treading water in a pool of shit.
Yes, yeah. You're sort of floating
so the rest
at the
of your
top.
body's already in it.
Your body's in it. It's up to your neck, and you're floating sort of at the top of it, but it's like, say, 3 meters deep. And so you can choose to duck into it head and all.
Oh, this is grim.
Yeah, it's the reason why. And also, I probably should have given a content warning. If people don't want to listen to this, you can tune out. But it's too late now.
Oh, the thing is, so is the top of the pool, like, is the floor around the pool, like, above my head, or is my head above, like, ground level? Because the way I see it, if I take the vomit, I think I'm going to be vomiting either way, but I think I'm more likely to actually throw up, like, loads myself if I take the piss and the vomit. So then I feel like I will just keep vomiting over time, and in the end I might literally just end up drowning. So is ground level below or above my head?
I'm thinking ground level is below your head. Like this is a tank basically that you're in. It's like a silo. Imagine it's a silo.
Which comes first, the vomit or the piss?
Both at the exact same time.
So they end at the same time.
They start at the same time, they end at the same time.
I think I'm going to take the vomit and the piss then, because this would at least wash a bit of the vomit off.
Yeah, maybe.
Just the thought of putting my head under that's just too much.
Yeah, you're right.
When do I get out?
You don't. That's just where you are forever.
Oh, so you're stuck there forever?
No, you can probably get out like 5 minutes after the piss and shit's gone on you, I reckon. 5 minutes after the vomit hits you.
Yeah, I'm taking the piss and vomit then. Because like, I might throw up once after it's come down, and then I'd cope, and then I'd be out, and then I could wash. But just the thought of having shit in like my hair and everything is too much.
Yeah, and you couldn't duck under there. Like, I think whilst I was under there, I could maybe stomach it and just be like, okay, this is it. But once I'm out, but I'm covered in it, I'd be done.
Just the smell. Like, the smell's there anyway, but it's literally like up your nose and everything. Like, I can't do that.
The thing is, what I think is, if we're talking like split-second decision making, and you're seeing that come down, my immediate reaction is to duck. Yeah, my immediate reaction.
If I know it's coming, I'm taking the piss and the vomit. But realistically, if I don't know it's coming, I might just duck under and then regret it as soon as I do.
So imagine I'm stood at the side and I'm telling you what's about to happen.
Yeah, I'm taking the piss and vomit.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like your reasoning holds up, but I reckon I might go under.
Really?
I don't know.
Fair, you might find piss and vomit a bit more gross than me. I mean, I find everything involved here absolutely disgusting, don't get me wrong. But
yeah. But I feel like...
just the thought of going under.
Because I feel like also the shit is only one thing, whereas piss and vomit is two.
Like, the piss might actually help. Because, like, the stench of piss isn't as bad as the stench of either of the other two. And it's going to partially wash off some of the, maybe, like... Is it chunky vomit?
I'm thinking... Yeah, I'm answering these questions like I'm John Wick. For a long time, people have been asking me if it's chunky vomit, and up until now I didn't really know what to say. But I'm thinking,
yes.
yeah, it's chunky vomit.
Okay. I think I am still going to take the piss to vomit, because, I mean, it's from a diving board, the chunks won't, hopefully there'll probably only be like a couple that sort of stick on my head. But generally, I think the piss will do an alright job of washing some of that vomit away. I think I'm sticking with the piss and the vomit. I've got to.
I'm thinking my immediate reaction would be to go under, and I'm the sort of person that I gotta stick with my gut, and I reckon I'm going under. I'm so glad that I've got my candle in here that is like giving me the nice scent of cherry,
you don't have to think about
so that
it.
my mind doesn't try and fill it in with turds. Yeah. Let's get into our shout-out segment.
Let's do that.
This week we're doing it a bit different. Usually we shout out a podcast or something like that. But this week I want to give a special shout-out to a listener of the show. I want to give a shout-out to Harry Benzie. Big shout-out to him. Because he originally found my other podcast, We Talk, and listened to that, and he's been offering us like great support on We Talk for nearly a year now, I think. He's real great, and he's offered us a lot of support on that. And he's come straight over to this podcast as well, and he's been listening to that, and he's messaged us on Twitter a couple times, and he tweets about the show.
What a guy.
And I really appreciate the support, so big shout out to listener Harry Benzie. If you're listening to this, great, good on you. I was going to offer you something, some sort of like pride, but we don't have anything we could give away. If we ever make merch, you can have a free piece of merch of your choice.
You can have my virginity.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of MTO Quarantine Catch Up. We'll see you on the flippity flip side, bros. That's how we're ending this. Goodbye, everyone.